Hey, Sean.
Hello, RJ.
How are you, sir?
Fantastic. I talked to your buddy Bill the other night.
Yeah, no, yeah. He talks really highly of you, and I really look up to Bill. So if he talks really highly of you, I reciprocate the exact same respect to you as well. And he told me that you have a wealth of knowledge that I could use and grow from. And I always take the advice of my mentors to heart, and here we are today. The moment that he mentioned you, within minutes, I told him, "Huh, I already scheduled a phone call with Sean." And he was kind of shocked and surprised because he didn't think that I was going to do that so quickly. But I told him, I'm like, look, I'm not here to play games. I'm here to make some money. I'm here to make some moves, and let's do this thing.
Okay, well, what do you need to see? What song and dance do you need?
Well, he mentioned how it was because I graduated college in 2012, right? And so during the whole 2008, 2009 recession, he told me that I was still in college, and it was true. Like I didn't know about how severe the market trends and market cycles were at the time when I was in college. And so now that this whole economy is looking the way that it's looking, the market trend is starting to reciprocate exactly what was happening in 2008. And during that time, in the 2008 recession era, I mean, the only thing that was prominent and strong was the federal and government work. And so during this time, I was always with big contractors, right? I was with Bill when he was at Webcore. He was my project executive out there, and then right when he left, I went to DPR Construction, and then I went to Suffolk Construction. And honestly, the way I saw it, and I've talked to Bill about it, and I voiced my opinion about it. I said, you know what, Bill, like the way that the contractors are, these big contractors are running work, it's I don't know, it's kind of child's play and it's asinine. So I'm kind of trying to do my own thing. And so like this April, in 2 weeks from now, I'll be taking my General B contractor's license for the state of California. And so yeah, I'll be pursuing my own GC, and
Yeah.
doing my own thing. But at the same time, if it doesn't work out, and if I can't find a home, because right now I'm just doing my own thing. I'm just doing a bunch of construction consulting work on the side. I left Suffolk in November of last year, and ever since then I applied to get my license to get a General B, and California took almost 2.5 months to give me my exam date, and I'm just waiting for that exam date to happen. And they finally gave it to me in about 2 weeks. April 18th actually is my exact exam date to get my General B license. And yeah,
RJ,
and so yeah,
you do not need a license of any kind to be a federal contractor.
and that was a surprising thing when Bill and I talked, and he's all like, "Well, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but you don't need a license." And I said, "Well, shit. Well, I already paid for the fees, and
Yeah,
I'm slotted to."
I'll
I'm
just tell
slotted.
you, I've done hundreds of millions of dollars of federal contracts. I've never had a license other than a driver's license, and I've done millions upon millions upon millions of dollars of work in the state of California. And I know
Okay.
how license heavy that state is, where you got to go from city to city and get all these stupid licenses. None of that comes into the federal market.
Got it.
Did you see my video on the economy?
Yeah, I actually just did a brief look on it because right after you sent me that, it was like an hour ago. I got a call from a recruiter, and I'm just trying to put as many oars in the water as possible, and so I didn't
Okay.
get to actually look into it. But Bill sent me a video. I think it was like a 10-minute video of
Okay,
like
that's
what
the
you were.
opportunity. That's where I'm talking about the
Yeah,
25,000 registered federal contractors. I
correct.
mean,
Yep.
look, we have time here, so I'm just going to go ahead and teach it to you. I actually prefer that people watch that video so that we can have a better use of time here. But we've got
Yeah.
time, so I'm going to go through it with you, and I'm going to teach it to you from scratch, okay?
Okay. Let me get a pen and paper here.
No, you don't need that. It's being recorded.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I want your full attention. All right, RJ, I'm not an economist, but the economy goes up and down as you figured out.
Yep.
And most contractors, they don't pay attention to the economy, but when the economy's going up, how they find out is their phone starts ringing. Hey, give me a bid. Hey, give me a bid. And if you get enough of those phone calls, what do you do with your price?
Bring it up.
That's right, and you can do that in an up economy, but when the economy starts going down, we internalize that as contractors. We start thinking, geez, what did I do last week that I didn't do this week? Did I piss somebody off? Did I do something wrong? We internalize this, and what I'm here to tell you, and you've already figured out, it's the economy. When the economy pulls back, you stop getting those phone calls, and we feel bad. But if we stay in the business long enough, we hit an upside again, and that feels great, and it's awesome. These downfalls, we call these recessions. Do you know the worst recession in American history?
Yes.
It's the Great Depression, right?
Yep.
1929. It was a down economy. It was a stock market crash. 9 out of 10 Americans lost their job. It was the worst economy in American history. The incoming president was FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was tasked with saving the economy, and he came up with the plan that we're going to build roads, bridges, and dams across this country, and we're going to increase the value of our country by building these roads and bridges and dams and putting Americans back to work. It was federal contracts. He negotiated with Congress. They called it the New Deal. You may remember that from history class.
Yeah.
And there was something about the New Deal that was the deal. And the deal was, prior to the New Deal, when our government bought construction goods and services, it was put in the books as a cost. It costs money to buy shit. But as part of the New Deal, he said, look, we're getting assets for our money, and the value of our country is going up. And that balanced the books, and that had never been done before. That was the New Deal, 1933. He put Americans back to work, and it saved the economy. The last recession, as you said earlier, was in 2008. Who was the incoming president?
08. Bush?
He was the outgoing. Who was the ingoing?
Don't recall.
Obama.
Obama? Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, Obama was faced with a down economy. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The crash in 2008, the housing crisis. He decided to do the same playbook as FDR. He came up with the American Reinvestment Recovery Act. That's an act of Congress. It put $150 billion worth of federal government construction contracts out on the street. But if you saw that first 10-minute video, how many federal contractors are there?
25,000.
That's right. 25,000 contractors cannot do $150 billion worth of work. That's impossible. Okay? So 47 billion of the 150 billion got pulled back into the general fund and were not used for the relief effort. Now, we came on the scene in 2010 as the government construction experts with the idea that we would create more federal contractors because here there was too much meat on the bone. These contractors couldn't eat that. The idea was create more federal contractors so that if this ever happens again, we'll have enough guys out there to eat the meat on the bone.
Exactly.
Who's president now?
You've got Mr. Biden.
You can call him Slow Joe, but what did he just pass? The Infrastructure Act. Trillions of dollars out on the street for federal contracts. We're in a down economy right now, RJ. He's doing the same thing Obama did, same thing that FDR did. He's stimulating the economy through federal contracts, but you can't get any of them, can you?
Nope.
And I'll tell you, most contractors across this country are Republicans, but the smart guys, the guys that are smarter than you, they're voting with their wallet. Because what happens is, as the economy goes up, Everything's great. When the economy pulls back, you're in free fall, losing your ass, but the smart guys are splitting off and doing federal contracts.
Yeah.
And then they might meet up with you over here and ride the economy up again, but when it starts going in free fall, they're splitting off and doing federal contracts. And look who's spending the money, dude.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, would you agree that most people in the construction industry will work for between $25 and $250 an hour?
Confirmed.
Confirmed. I like it. Would you agree that some people in the construction industry can make thousands of dollars an hour, tens of thousands of dollars an hour, maybe even $100,000 an hour, but they're not telling you how to do it?
I'll tell you what, I've never seen it happen before. I've never seen it in paper. I've never seen a check cut out for, let's say, 10 hours and it was $10,000, a $10,000 check for 10 hours. I've never seen it before. I've seen scopes of work.
Okay, time out. I'm going to teach you something really cool here in a minute, but time out. The very first email that I sent you said, "Welcome to the world of federal construction." Did you read that?
No. I will be honest with you.
All right. We're going to time out. Do you know how much it would cost to replace the 3-ton air conditioner at your home? Can you guess what that would cost?
You're talking about material and labor? Equipment?
Sure.
And
whatever you want. To replace a 3-ton air conditioner, how much?
I'd say about $3,000.
Okay. On the high end, it might be 10, right?
Yeah. Depends on the equipment that you buy, yeah.
That's right. We're going to time out right now, and you're going to go into your email, and you're going to find that first email, because you said, "I've never seen that."
Okay.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to eat the rest of my burger.
No problem. The one that you sent yesterday, the Federal Hall contract.
No. It says welcome to in the subject. It says welcome to the world of federal construction.
Okay.
Did you find it?
Yes, I did.
Attached to that email, or maybe you have to click a link to get to it, but there should be a document that says award. I want you to open up that award document and tell me how much it's awarded for.
Let's see. Okay, it says an accident that resulted in the removal of frame. Continue reading. Let me see. I think I just have to go to your GCExperts.net. Let's see.
Yeah, it might have a link in the email that takes you. My tech guys broke things up. It used to be an attachment to the email.
Yeah, this one is just going back to GCExperts.net. I'm curious about the quality of training.
No. In that email, it references. Does it reference some other? First of all, there shouldn't be a .net. So, Matt, I'm going to send you a copy of this video, and I want you to figure out what the hell, man, because this guy's supposed to be able to look up the award document to this email, and he's having a hard time doing it. So I don't know if he's got. So RJ, is there a link in there that beyond?
Yeah, the subject title of this email says, "Good afternoon, welcome to the world of federal construction," and then it talks about a little bit of bio between you and your dad, and it says, "We are actively running a construction company. 2005 with my brother Ryan."
Yeah, no, but there should be attachments to that email, and if they're not attached, there should be a link that takes you to a web page that shows you the documents that would have been attached.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's two links on there. One that says continue reading, and then that goes back to GCExperts.net. And then there's another link that says direct link, which is GCExperts.net /welcome. And it says, it says, welcome to the world of federal construction is what happens when I click it. And then the extra resources is show me the money. Next one is Jeff Soapy and his famous
Yes, Jeff Soapy. Okay, so do you see a federal document there, the Jeff Soapy, that shows $107,000 in it?
Yep, I do. I see that.
Okay, that's a federal government award document. That is indisputable. That is public information, and you can look it up. That contract was awarded for $107,000. And what's the scope of work say?
Let's see here. Issued by the government requires performance of the work described in these documents. Let's see. Contractor must. Blah, blah. What is the scope of work administered by? Oh, okay. It says install necessary equipment, instrumentation, controls, ductwork install, dampers, grills. Museum at the museum, Jeff Smith Parlor Museum.
That's right. The job was to install a 3-ton air conditioner and a little bit of ductwork. Okay.
Yeah. How much? I don't see how much ductwork.
Well, how much ductwork can there be on a 3-ton air conditioner, RJ?
I mean, yeah, exactly. How much refrigerant line can you put on a 3-ton? Yeah.
That's right. So, in your mind, how much could that possibly have cost?
I mean, for a 3-ton AC, I mean, I don't see how long you could go. I mean, that's an insane amount of money.
We paid $15,000. We paid $15,000 to get it done.
Yeah.
Do you think I went to Alaska to install an air conditioner?
No, you did not.
No, I did not. Did I make tens of $1,000s an hour for my time to make a few phone calls?
Hell yeah, you did.
Have you now seen evidence of that?
Mind blown, man. Mine is blown.
Okay, so you've now seen evidence of that, right?
Confirmed, yes.
Okay, confirmed. Now the timeout's over, and here's what I'm going to tell you next. There are contractors in this country that are making tens of thousands of dollars an hour. Proof. If you want me to, I will show you right now how they do it. But you got to ask me nicely.
Could you show me, please?
I will. Let me take another bite of my burger. I'm almost done.
Absolutely.
I forgot to eat lunch today and I was starving. I ordered some Uber Eats right before your call.
No, not a problem. I'm the same boat. It's hard to eat lunch when you're trying to stay busy.
Yeah, it is. My wife always gets on top of me for forgetting to eat and whatever.
Yeah, I know. Ironically, when you were talking to me about that, because I'm doing the Zoom call on my phone. My wife just sent me a text, and she said, "What do you want for dinner?" Or ... Did you even eat lunch? Yeah. So I know exactly what you mean.
Okay, I think I'm ready to start.
Okay.
So to understand how contractors make tens of thousands of dollars an hour, the first thing you need to understand is how vast our federal government is, because most people have an idea how big it is. But then they hear what I say and they go, oh my God. You have 500 agencies across the government. National Park Service, National Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, Bureau of Indian Affairs, IRS, CIA, FBI, Army, Navy, Corps of Engineers, Coast Guard, Space Force, Environmental Protection Agency, Marines, the United States Post Office. It's 500 agencies deep. Okay?
Wow. Yeah.
And they all own buildings. The Army owns buildings. The Coast Guard owns buildings. The Environmental Protection Agency owns 11,000 buildings.
Damn.
It is so vast that when you add up all the buildings for our federal government in the United States, it's over 960,000 buildings. It's almost 1 million.
Yeah. And
That's how vast it is.
Probably some of those buildings are over 20, 30 years old, man.
A lot of them are. The National Park Service alone maintains all the ex-president's homes.
Wow.
Okay, so you've got President Lincoln's home is still there and operated by the National Park Service. You can go. We have done work at President Lincoln's home because it was a federal contract.
Wow.
Okay?
That's actually pretty cool to do. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty awesome to put.
I've done 1,000 federal contracts. I got 1,000 stories. Okay? We've worked at Grant's Farm, President Grant's Farm. We've worked at President Adams' house up in Boston. Okay? We have worked in presidential homes. Yes. But they're just federal contracts. Okay?
Yeah.
The St. Louis Arch, that's operated by the National Park Service. I replaced the carpet inside the top of the St. Louis Arch.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't go do it, but I got the job. Okay.
So you're basically like a construction broker, in a sense.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But now, the first thing starts with how vast our federal government is. Okay.
Yeah.
The second thing to understand is that all those 500 agencies operate under one rule book. That rule book is called the Federal Acquisition Regulations. It's written by Congress and attorneys. It's the laws associated with how our government procures or acquires construction goods and services, because all those buildings need construction goods and services. New air conditioners, new parking lot resurfacing, carpeting, painting, roofing. They all need construction goods and services. It is vast. When I say it's the $270 billion a year, it is vast. Okay? Now, the Federal Acquisition Regulations, we call them the FARs, the acronym. FAR.
Yeah.
You and I are going to talk about one FAR out of the thousands. We're just going to talk about one.
Okay.
And it's 13.004A. And look, you're a smart guy, and I know that, and you're going to want to jump ahead when I start telling you what to do next. And what I'm telling you is, if you want your mind blown the same way that it was blown on that air conditioner, promise me that you'll let me guide you through this step by step, okay?
100%.
All right. I want you at this point to Google FAR 13.004A, because we're going to read it together.
Okay.
And I don't care if I lose your face on this as long as I've got comms.
Got it. Okay. FAR 13.004, legal effect of quotations.
Okay, the first thing I want you to do is click on that link. It takes you to a government website, and then I want you to acknowledge that you're on a government website, not my website.
Confirmed. It is on a .gov.
Okay, so you're on a public website. We're reading a public document. And then the first thing you said was the title of that FAR is what? You said it, legal?
Legal effect of quotations.
Okay, stop right there. Now, I want you to look at me, and I want you to acknowledge that if you go out tomorrow and give 10 quotes, 100 quotes, or 1,000 quotes, is there anything legal about those quotes, or are they just quotes?
Say that one more time.
If you go out tomorrow in your business and you give out 10 quotes, 100 quotes, or 1,000 quotes, is there anything legal associated with those quotes, or are they just quotes?
They're just quotes.
That's right, they're just quotes. But on the federal acquisition regulation, when we're talking about a quote, the very title associated with a quote says legal effect of a quotation, inferring that there's something legal associated with a quote, and that's different from your world.
Correct.
Correct. Okay, with that, I want you to read the first sentence of the legal effect of a quotation and stop at the period.
It says, kind of read ahead already. A quotation is not an offer and consequently cannot be accepted by the government to form a binding contract.
Yep, now look at me.
Yep.
If you call me up, RJ, and you say, Sean, give me a quote, and I sign that quote and I give it to you, and you sign it, what do we now have?
The contract.
That's right. But on the federal government side, the very first thing it says about a quote is that we can give the government a quote and they cannot turn it into a contract. And that's
What about
that's different, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's different. All right? Now, because you can turn it into a contract, they cannot. Now, read the second sentence out loud and stop at the period.
Therefore, issuance by the government of an order in response to a supplier's quotation does not establish a contract.
Okay, this is legalese written by, Congress and attorneys, but what that means is that our government understands that they have people working for them, and some of those people are not perfect, and maybe someday, even though they're not supposed to take a quote and turn it into a contract, they're concerned that somebody makes a mistake and does take your quote and turn it into a contract. What that second sentence is saying is that if that happens to you, don't worry about it. It's still not a contract.
Wow.
Does that make sense now that I explained it to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you agree with that? Do you agree that's what that says?
Well, I mean, it's still hard for me to accept.
No. Stop trying to accept this. Is that what that says?
That is what it says, yes.
Is that under the heading legal effect of a quotation?
Yes.
Are we reading a law on a federal website?
Yes.
Okay? Whether you accept that or not doesn't change what it is.
Correct.
Okay?
Yes.
Read the rest of the paragraph out loud.
The order is an offer by the government to the supplier to buy certain supplies or services upon specified terms and conditions. A contract is established when the supplier accepts the offer.
Okay, so look. Again, this is legalese written by attorneys and shit. But you have to imagine that if the government's putting work out on the street, they want to get it done, right?
Yes.
So what the rest of that paragraph is saying is how they can turn a quote into a contract. But I need to explain to you how it works because it's different. Okay? So what we're going to talk about is, let's just say our National Park Service needs a little 200 square foot tiny house built. They want to put some park rangers in it over the winter. They just need a 200 square foot tiny house built. So they put it out for bid. And then here comes Sean, the federal contractor, walk around and I go, oh, shit, I want to bid that little 200 square foot tiny house. So I submit a bid for $100,000. Can they take my bid and turn it into a contract?
Okay.
Can they?
Yeah, if they accept the bid, yes.
No, they cannot. What's the first sentence say?
A quotation is not an offer and a well, you sent a quotation, which is a bid.
That's right. I sent a quote into the government. Can they turn it into a contract?
But did they accept it?
No. Don't read ahead. What's the first sentence say?
A quotation is not an offer and consequently cannot be accepted by the government to form a binding contract.
So I come along and I bid this $100,000. I put a $100,000 bid in to build this 200 square foot tiny house. Can they turn it into a contract?
No.
No. What it says is they have to offer it back to me.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
what that
basics.
looks like in the real world is I give them a bid for $100,000, and they have to offer it back to me. They have to say, "Hey, we got your bid for $100,000. Would you please do this job for what you bid it for?" That's what they have to do. That's what that says. And I'm here to tell you that when they do that, when I get that phone call and they say, "Hey, we want to talk to you about this job," you have four options. Four options when they offer it back to you. Four. Number one, you can accept. "Hey, all right, I'll take the job." Number two, you can withdraw. "Sorry, too busy right now."
Yeah.
Hello, Sean speaking. Hello?
Yes, hello, how you doing, John?
I'm doing fine. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Wendell Pope.
Hi, Wendell. How can I assist you?
Yeah, I just came across your website and everything on YouTube, on Facebook.
Yep.
And, I'm interested in government contracts. I've had affinity for a while, but I hadn't made any moves. And the only thing I want to ask is, I didn't see how much your course costs for that 3-day workshop.
That's because I don't publish that on my website. I make people learn more before they... Look, if I just tell you a number, whether it's $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million, if you don't understand the value of it or what's in it, that number's not going to mean anything. In other words, if I said it's $10,000 and it comes with a pound of gold, are you going to give me $10,000?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I understand exactly where you're coming from, and I understand the value.
Well, no, you don't understand the value because you haven't seen the video where I talk about how much it is. So, please, sir, understand that you...
I understand the value of government contracting because I've been in seminars and things of that nature. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't go through all your videos. I just came across it when I was looking for the price because I just might end up purchasing whatever it is.
Well, I understand, Wendell, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to text you a video to watch. And in that video, I talk about the price. But before I talk about the price, I establish the value.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you'll give me about 15, 20 minutes, I will text that to you.
I sure appreciate you, sir.
You bet.
Huh?
Okay, bye-bye, Wendell. Okay, so number 2, I can withdraw. Sorry, too busy. Number 3, I can negotiate. Hey, I know I turned that shit in for $100,000, but actually I need it to be $140. Number 4, I can stall for more time. Now, RJ, are you with me?
Yeah. No, I'm here.
Okay. Of these 4 options, when they call me about my $100,000 bid, which one are they trying to get me to do?
They're trying to have you accept it.
That's right, because if I accept it, it becomes a binding contract, and they've got the deal done, and they can go on to the next 10 deals. But what I'm telling you is that I do not do that. What I do is I stall. I say, "I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting your call. Can I call you back in 24 to 48 hours? Boop! If I'd have told Wendell that, "Hey, Wendell, I'm not expecting your call. Can I call you back in 24 to 48 hours? He'd go, "Oh, well, yeah." Boop! Get him right off the phone, right?
Right.
Okay, then I get off the phone with the government. Now I'm calling you, RJ. "Hey, RJ, my name's Sean. I'm a national federal contractor. I do everything from wind tunnels, water treatment plants, to kitchen renovations. I'm calling you today because our National Park Service needs this little 200 square foot tiny house built. What I want to do is send you over the plans and specifications by email. When you get the email, don't even open the plans and specs. My phone number in there, just pick up the phone and call me. I'm already familiar with the job, and I'll walk you through it step by step." So then I send you over the plans and specifications. You get them, you pick up the phone, you call me, and I say, "Hey, RJ, I'm not asking you to bid every 2x4, every electrical outlet, every shingle. What I'm really asking you to do is just based on what you're looking at, give me a number off the cuff that if I called you up 90 days from today and said, 'Hey, man, we got the job,' that we'd be close enough to negotiate something that makes sense for both of us. Do you see how I'm pulling the pressure off of you to give me a number? Yeah. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So in this hypothetical situation, RJ, on this 200 square foot tiny house, role play with me, no wrong answers, give me a number. How much to build it?
100,000.
Holy shit, I turned my bid in for 100. This guy's telling me it's going to cost 100, so I need to call the government, negotiate, and say I need to change my bid to 140,000. Give me another scenario.
150,000.
Holy shit, I bid it for 100. This guy's telling me 150. I call the government and I say, sorry, too busy. Go to the next guy. Not interested. Give me another scenario.
90,000.
Negotiate again. Give me another scenario.
200 grand.
I withdraw my bid. I bid it for 100, 200. You're not giving me the other number. How much does it really cost to build a 200 square foot tiny house?
50 grand.
Holy shit, I turned it in for 100. The guy that knows how to do it is telling me 50. I call the government and I accept the deal, and now I make 50 grand for making a couple of phone calls, and RJ does all the work. Now do you understand how we made all that money on that air conditioner?
I do.
Am I at any risk for a bid that I turn into the federal government?
It's not you swinging that hammer, so no.
Am I at any risk when I turn a bid in?
No.
Why?
Because it's a quotation.
And they can't turn it into a contract, and even if they did, it's still not a contract. They have to offer it back to me. When they offer it back to me, one of my options is I can always withdraw. I would never accept a deal unless I was making money. Yes or no?
Correct.
This is how federal contractors are making a whole bunch of money. Now listen carefully.
So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So the biggest, I guess, the elephant in the room there is actually attracting the government to give you a call back based on the quotation that you provided.
We teach that in the works. Look, I can't give you everything for free, but here's what I can tell you, RJ. Okay, here's what I can tell you. You just experienced 15 minutes of training from what was a live 3-day workshop that we performed right here in this office. And it's all like that for 3 days. Okay?
Yeah.
For years, we traveled around the country. They flew down into Austin, and we trained them in this room. And I was video recording everything because I thought it was cool. Dude, it's cool. People were flying down to Austin and learning from us. Okay?
Yeah.
Then the pandemic happened, and I couldn't bring people in the room anymore. So I took the videos I already had of the live event, and I pasted them together, and I put it on the internet. Would you like to see what that looked like?
Absolutely.
Okay, here is a portion of day 1 of the workshop.
And then put the BIG over the opportunities. Big problems equal big opportunities. If somebody needs something and they really need it, they're desperate to get it done, you understand? That's the opportunity you're looking for, the need. Okay? You focus on the need. Everything gets focused on the need. What's the need? Do you have a budget? Once I understand the need, I focus on it, I understand it, repeat it back to them. Is there anything else you want to elaborate on? Or anything else I should know? Okay, problems like that usually have a budget associated with it. Can you share that with me? Do you understand how we go from the need, fully understanding the need, and then to the budget, figuring out what the budget is.
Here is a portion of day 2 of the workshop.
In fact, I don't even mind.
Look, I'm a stealth little son of a bitch. Okay? The moment that the inspector goes over and says, hey, you should ask, the contractor said ask him to give you a price. The moment she hit send in the email, so she wrote an email that said, hey Seth, give us a price. The moment she hit send, Seth achieved something. It's my favorite word in federal construction. What did he achieve? My favorite word in federal construction. No, that's how you make money in federal construction. What's my favorite word in federal construction? Entitlement. Because once you're entitled to something, what's the only other question? How much?
Here's a portion of day 3.
Entitlement. Entitlement's the pay me motherfucker.
Do you remember me saying that the rule was if there's only one bidder, and that bidder is 15% or more above the government estimate, they cannot award the contract? Why does our government, in their infinite wisdom, have that rule? Anybody?
Tax dollars money.
Protects tax dollars, right? Because Sally, what's she trying to do? Get George's job done. He needs it. It's his money. He went and asked for it to fix his fish hatchery. It's sitting on her desk. He needs it done. It's not going to get done until she finds a contract.
You still there?
I'm sorry, I hit mute. What you're investing in when you invest with us is access to those videos that I created of our workshop. It happened in real life, it happened on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but day 1 is 10 hours, day 2 is 11 hours, day 3 is 7 hours, and this is an update video I made, but it plays like Netflix. You can come in here, you can hit play, you can rewind, you can binge watch it in 28 hours if you want to. You know, the whole thing is like Netflix. Okay, so you invest with us and you get access to this. But I don't know if you saw or not my proof page. Did you check out my proof page?
I'm talking about all the testimonials.
Well, not only the testimonials, but the links to how much money they made. Did you click the links?
Yeah. No, I didn't. But then I was just watching how you validated each of those.
That's right. I validate. Yeah. It's indisputable. There's over if you add that shit up, it's $300 million in federal contracts. And that's just 10 of my guys. Those are just the first 10 guys I thought of to look up their name on USAspending.gov. Okay?
Yeah.
It's 300 million. It's indisputable. You can't argue with me that I'm not responsible for that.
Yeah.
So
Let me ask you this, Sean.
Go ahead.
You know, the primary reason, and one of the drivers that I wanted to, pursue my general contractor's license was just to start my own GC. But based on what you're kind of saying, you're kind of like, you're like a construction broker.
Yeah,
for the government.
Fuck that noise. I don't want to deal with Joe not coming to work on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like, okay, so can I actually run a construction company by myself without having to hire a superintendent, a project engineer, a project manager, you know?
Yes!
Yeah. Okay. That's amazing. And then anybody could do this without even have a contractor's license? That's pretty awesome.
I'm an idiot, and I did it for a long time.
Come on, Sean. You're not an idiot. Oh, man.
You haven't seen some of the stupid human tricks I've done over the years. Idiot.
Well, Bill talks really highly of you, man. And I look up to him a lot. And just by the conversation that we've had, you've just blown my mind like 3 times already. So, right now, if you were in my position right now, right, I got... so in November of 22, so a couple months ago, I decided to take a severance package from Suffolk Construction. I just came from Suffolk. I just finished a high rise for them. I managed, 42% of all the subcontracts.
Dude, you know more about the construction business than I do. I assure you.
Come on, no way, man. This is Josh and me here, dude.
I assure you. Because I don't like work. Work sounds boring.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Sean. Why doesn't, because I've asked this to Suffolk Construction before I left, right? Because I'm really fascinated about market trends. And I went to my pre-con estimating team, and I went directly to the vice president over there. I said, Fawad, are we pursuing anything in the public sector? Because, looking at the trend analysis and where the market is going, all of these commercial and private projects that we were consistently pursuing.
Yeah, and I just showed you all that. And look, I'm not an economist, and I just demonstrated to you what the fuck's going on. with a marker.
But why aren't the big companies even pursuing that? I mean, like a Suffolk
Okay,
construction.
here, I'll give you another
$1
example. 3 weeks ago, I'm over at my buddy's house having dinner, and he had just seen my ad on Facebook where I talk about the actionable strategies, right, of the federal market. Yeah. And he looks me across the table. Now, keep in mind, the guy, his name's Ryan, and he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a big, built-up guy, thick neck and everything, back in the heyday. And Ryan goes, Sean, you gotta redo the title on your ad. It's gotta say, make your company recession proof.
Yeah.
I go, if I put make your company recession proof on my ad, nobody will ever click on my ad because that's the dumbest fucking headline. Everybody wants to make your company recession proof. I'll look like a fool, Ryan.
Yeah, it'd be clickbait, Just
that's right.
Clickbait.
But now, based on what you just saw, is this how to make your company recession-proof?
Absolutely, yeah.
But I can't say that because I'll look like an idiot.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the one thing about me, and one thing that me and Bill had lunch the other day, and I told Bill, because I used to own a car company, and I sold it. And, we got the acquisition, it's all done. And I told Bill, I'm like, Bill, I want to build another company. Like, I'm hungry to build another one because I let go of my other baby and now I want to build another baby. And one of the things that we talked about was like, well, what kind of things, like what my mentality was. And I told Bill, I'm like, look, Bill, when I look at a market, I look at it like the armory race. I'm looking at, I don't want to be the guy that's building the AR-15s. I'm not the guy that's buying the AKs. I want to be the guy that's building the bullets. The one that's manufacturing the bullets. That's the one that's making money because that bullet is only going to last a split second. That AR-15 is going to last for years.
Yeah.
I want to.
I think you're only saying that because you haven't been through my training. You got to understand the problem with your concept on bullets is anybody can make a bullet. Okay, and what happens is then you get competition on anybody making a bullet, and with competition, what happens to price? What happens to margins? True. Okay,
yeah.
So now you got to sell 6 billion fucking bullets to make $10. Okay,
fucking A.
As opposed to what I just showed you, where you're making thousands of dollars an hour. So focus on that shit.
So let me ask you this, Sean. If you were in my position right now, right, I'm obviously putting up as many oars in the water because me and my wife are trying to have a kid right now. And we're trying, it's getting to that point where we might have to go to IVF, which is obviously,
very
health
expensive.
Insurance and all
my
of that.
friend just went through that, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like chasing after that health insurance and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Although my wife does have health insurance and she has some pretty good coverage, but nonetheless, the one thing that I would ask is if you were in my shoes, I'm 35 and I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should, do my own thing again and just, be my own man, or go and start looking for another job at a big construction company.
Well, look, those are decisions that you have to make. Now, here's what I'll tell you about my stuff. First, if it's your last $5,000, I don't want your money. Okay, I'll just tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because that's just going to frustrate you if all of a sudden you need money for an IVF next month and you're going to be thinking, Jesus Christ, I gave Reitmeyer's $5,000 and, okay? Yeah. So that's first. I always tell people, take care of your family first. That's the most important thing. Ideas and concepts, and yes, this is a new shiny thing, and yes, it's a huge opportunity that will never go away, but that's all it is at this point. We're just having a conversation, and it's just an opportunity, okay?
Yeah.
You're never going to get heavy-handed sales shit from me, okay? I keep it as real as you can imagine it to be. I'm eating a fucking French fry with a guy on Zoom, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't get any more real than that. All right? The second thing is, yeah, if you want to invest with us, sometimes it takes about 90 days to get your first federal contract. So, and it's not just the $5,000; it's the $700 you have to give my wife to get you SAM registered. Okay, so it's there's some costs associated with it. Do I think you'll be successful in this market? Dude, based on the drive and determination and what you told me about this 40, story building, all this other crap and all this shit you understand about construction, dude, as much as your mind was blown in this conversation, your mind is going to be really blown when you see the workshop and realize how little I know about construction. Okay?
But how much you know about making money with the government,
That's different. Okay? That's way different. I know a fuck ton about that. Okay?
Yeah.
Many metric fuck tons. That's a real unit of measurement. But yeah, about the actual construction process, if you asked me to hang a 2x6, you would not want to walk under that 2x6. I assure you. Okay? I don't care about that. I know how to find guys that know how to do that. Okay?
Yeah.
Let them go do it. So, look, if you want to be what we call the middleman of demand between what the government needs and the guys that know how to get it done, we're the guys. I'm running out of time, RJ. I've got about 5 more minutes. So any questions you have other than that one, you have my full attention for those full 5 minutes.
No, I mean, the only thing that I want to say is thank you for taking the time. And the first thing I'm going to be doing as soon as I leave my shop over here, and I'm going to talk to my wife. And I'm going to see.
You're going to have a copy of this video. Everything you and I just did for the last hour. Yeah. You're going to have a copy of it within minutes. You don't know it, but it's being live streamed to YouTube to an unlisted channel. So nobody's seeing this but you and me, but it is being streamed so that as soon as I end this, you'll get a link from the very beginning.
So for the last few minutes here, the last thing that I do want to get and cleared out of the air is, I've in my first of my career, right when I graduated college, the first thing I did was build water treatment filtration systems and water treatment plants.
Sure.
And so one of the biggest things is that we obviously worked with government entities, right? And one of the biggest things that was such a big problem for the company that I was working with was actually getting payment from the government or from the
government. Federal government pays in accordance with the Prompt Payment Act. American Reinvestment and Recovery Act, Infrastructure Act, Civil Liberties Act. These are acts of Congress. So I'm going to quote you the Prompt Payment Act. This is laws, okay? The part about payment in federal contracts states in part that the contractor shall be paid monthly or more often as deemed necessary by the contracting officer on a percentage complete basis. It goes on to say that the contractor shall be paid on a partial pay request within 14 days, and that a final pay request shall be paid within 30 days. So we tell you, if you're 98, even if you're 100% complete, bill it 98% so you get the money in 14 days, and then let them hold on to the 2% next month, and they can hold that for 30 days. And then if they come back to you and they say, hey, you're 100% complete, why are you billing 98%? Here's some free advice you get in the workshop. You respond and say, hey, I know that when I leave this job, if there's going to be a warranty issue, it's going to happen within the first 30 days that I leave. So I just thought I'd leave a couple of little percent on there to protect the government in case that happens. But what am I really trying to... No, what I'm really trying to do is get my money in 14 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's as a partial pay request. Any other questions about the money? Go ahead.
So last one, for the AC job that you were talking about, the one that you showed me an example, is $100,000, right?
Yep.
So if you're the man in between the demand, would you need to be fronting the money to that actual contractor.
If I had
that's
to,
doing the
I
work
would, but we didn't. I mean, the guy's an AC guy. He installs ACs all right. He gets done and he says, okay, I'm done, you know? And we tell him, you're paid in accordance with the Prompt Payment Act. Okay? You're guaranteed by the federal government to get paid. You got 30 days with your suppliers? Hell yeah, I got 30 days with your supplier. Okay, you're going to be paid within that. Don't worry about it.
So then, does the government, or not the government, does the government and or the contractor that's performing the actual work ever see the final numbers between the sides of the
No,
fence?
that
Like,
guy
does the
don't know. That guy don't know. He just got another job, dude. One air conditioner. How many air conditioners you think an AC guy installs in a year?
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
That's true. At least one a day. So at least
I was just one guy that called him up and said, "Hey, dude, I got another job for you."
Yeah. And he doesn't care, and it's like a net 30 situation. So, or whatever the contract terms are.
Yeah, so he probably charged us more instead of the 3,000 you were talking about. I got fuck, man, he got me for 15 grand.
Yeah. But he got 100 bands from Uncle Sam. I love it. Oh, Sean, this has been an eye opener for me, and it's actually brought me a little bit of hope, because right now all of the contractors that I've been interviewing for, I mean, they want me to drive and commute, 2 hours one way to
Sit
get
at
to
home
the
on your
jobs.
house and make phone calls, dude.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. But as far as everything else is concerned, man, I think you've answered all the questions that I have for the time being. It sounds like it's going to be an investment of about $5,700, right? It sounds like.
Yep.
Okay. Let me see what I could put together.
It's already been texted to you. You can click the link right now. You can hit the investment link and pay for it. And within 1 minute, just like Netflix, you get instant access. You're right in the training.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, aside from that, man, I mean, if I could do my own thing, just doing my own thing, screw working for someone. You know what I mean? I want to be my own man, dude.
All right, RJ. I'll send you the link. I got to roll, man.
All right. I appreciate your time, Sean. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.